Hey guys, it's Dalton with Red River Dodge here again, and today I'm going to take you a tour of the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk. Now to start with the front of this vehicle, you have a kind of different, unique hood that Jeep went with. You do have a kind of this black textured stripe going down the middle. You do have your Jeep kind of a graphite gunmetal gray badge. You do have your standard Jeep grille with the circular headlights. And on the Trailhawk, you will have your front red tow hooks. No matter what color the vehicle is, those tow hooks will be red. Now the Sport Trailhawk will have different ground effects and will be a little bit lower to the ground, and the Sport one is front wheel drive. This is the Trailhawk version, so this one is full wheel drive. Now coming to the side of the vehicle, now you do have the trail rated 4x4 badge on the side of this, so you can take this off-road. You do have the Renegade display badge, and you do have the body matching handles and a little bit of black fender flares on this 2016 Jeep Renegade. Now your wheels are a 17-inch aluminum wheel, and the stance of it, you do have it's a little bit elevated and does kind of have that lifted look to it. Alrighty guys, today we are in the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk. Now this is a four-wheel drive Jeep, but it's not your normal Jeep. This is a kind of a crossover SUV Jeep. You know, they're trying to make a shot at the lower end vehicles but still keep that Jeep vibe through it. Now it does have a V6 motor in it, and it has around 180 horsepower in this little SUV, I guess you could call it. Now the Trailhawk is the top of the line of the Renegades because it is the four-wheel drive. It kind of has a little bit of that lift look to it. So it is trail rated to be able to take this thing onto trails and go off-roading on it. But I honestly don't think a lot of people are going to go and do that with this vehicle. Now, what I see this vehicle being a lot is the high schooler, just turned sweet 16, because it is that funky look. It has that really boxy but a very unique curves and lines to this vehicle. The taillights are very, very different with this vehicle. The body lines of this is very unique. Jeep kind of went off and kind of took some style tips from their cousins Fiat, you know, Chrysler and Fiat. They took some style tips from Fiat and kind of how they look and how they feel, so they transferred that to a Jeep. Now, if you're a Jeep fan and you're looking at one of these, you still have that unique Jeep grille and those circle headlights that give you that Jeep feel. And in the Trailhawks, of course, you have your tow hooks in the front, and you have that Jeep look all the way around it with that rugged gauge clusters and just some components and accents in this thing that still feels off-road. But this is kind of a Jeep for that city person. Now the roof does come off, so you can have that feel of having a topless vehicle, but it doesn't come all the way off. It's almost kind of like a sunroof that you can take out. Now we are in Heber Springs, and there are really tight roads and very tight turns and curves, and this Jeep really does handle very well. Surprising, because it is a Jeep. Like I was saying, it is an SUV, kind of a crossover type vehicle, and it does handle very, very well about getting around these turns and curves here in Heber Springs. There's not a lot of body roll to it. There's not a lot of weird handling issues with it. The steering feels very smooth. If you put your foot on it, it's going to get up and go. It's not a sports car. Now this Jeep is not nothing to take to a drag strip and, you know, run it and be a 10-second car by no means at all. But it does have a little bit of get up and go for this 6-cylinder that's inside of this. Now the inside of the vehicle is very nice. It has, you know, that rugged feel on the gauge clusters. I mean, it does have aluminum kind of style around the gauges. Actually, there's actually only two real gauges on here. It's your RPM and your speedometer. And then in the middle, you do have a screen, kind of like the Grand Cherokees have that full screen and the kind of higher upper Rams do. And it's really nice to see in a vehicle kind of this low price to see that full screen. It's big enough for you to see, but it doesn't dominate the whole entire cluster. And you do have a Uconnect type touchscreen. Now, it is not a Uconnect, and in the lower Renegades, you're just going to have kind of a standard radio. But in the Trailhawk, you do have a full touchscreen. It does come with navigation and media. And so if you do get off-road on this, you do have your navigation that can keep you on track where you're wanting to go. Now, look into the steering wheel. It reminds me a lot of the Cherokees. It's almost like they literally took the steering wheel off the Cherokees and decided to put it in this. It has all the same exact button feel, but what I've noticed is from me driving Cherokees before, just the regular Cherokees, they don't have the steering wheel controls behind the steering wheel for the volume control on the radio. Some of them might and some of them might not. The ones I've driven have not had those. And this has them, which is kind of unique to have, which in my truck, my Ram 1500, I have those, and I love that about this. I can just keep my hands on the wheel and turn up the radio and turn it down if I need to. Now we're going like around a really, really tight curve right here. And like I was saying, there's really not much body roll to it at all, period. Back to the inside. Your full driving engaging, it is a electric transfer case inside this. You have all your AC you want. The controls, the controls for the AC have these little screens on them, which is very, very nice, very, very sleek, and very, very, very well put. And I actually kind of like it. I am a little bit bigger guy. I'm 6'1", and I'm actually kind of sitting comfortably in these seats. When you see Jeep Renegade, you're going to think, okay, this is for a smaller person to drive. And I'm actually comfortable in this thing. These seats aren't hugging me real tight. They're not real tightly held against me. And I actually kind of enjoy sitting in this. It's very, very comfortable to me. Very comfortable. To the inside, you do the actual shifter here is it's actually pretty nice. This is a 9-speed automatic, which is, it actually does very, very well with picking the gears that it needs to be in. It's not trying to shift down, shift up really quickly and get confused. This Jeep just knows what it needs to do and just will take off. Now in the Trailhawk, kind of no matter what vehicle you have, either the blue color, this one I'm driving is an orange. So you would think that the accent of the color of the inside, because it is black inside, you would think the accent color would be the body color, but no, it is red. The accent for the interior of this Jeep Renegade is red on the Trailhawks, which I will admit it does look very, very, very good. It's got nice red trim around the shifter, around the speakers, some of the vents. In the seats you have red stitching. The Trailhawk badge is stitched very well red into the seats. The ride of this vehicle is very smooth-like. It's almost car-like, actually. I'm not saying you feel like you're in a car, because you do feel like in the driver's seat you do sit up more, and you do feel like you are in an SUV, but it's very smooth. You go over bumps or potholes, you would think, oh, a Jeep's going to toss me all which way. And no, this is very smooth, very light going on this Jeep. You know, with the stereo system in this Jeep Renegade, you know, Chrysler's very well known to put Alpine radios, Harman Kardon, stereo systems in vehicles. Well, this has something different. This has a Beats Audio sound system in here, and I will say it sounds very, very, very good. I'm actually kind of surprised by it, because us working here for Chrysler at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, I mean, we're used to the Alpine and the Harman Kardon, but when we get a Jeep Renegade, it's Beats. So you're like, okay, Beats is a headphone company, and you're trying to figure out, okay, so we're going to have a full stereo system made by Beats. And actually, it's very, very well done. And something also pretty unique about the Jeep Renegade is that it has an option to select snow, sand, mud, and rock terrain. So if you're ever going off-roading in this vehicle and you hit some mud, just flip it over to that switch and it will automatically and electrically be ready for that type of terrain. Now here in Arkansas, a lot of people don't think we get snow and sleet and ice, which we do during the winters. It's super hot in the summers and super cold in the winters. So for someone with this vehicle in Arkansas, in the winter they're going to click it over to the snow type, and it's going to handle a lot better than it would in auto or any other terrain, because that's what it's there to do. It's there to help with the traction or the slip, that if you lose your grip, it's able to stop that immediately. Alrighty, so now I know it might be hard to hear me, but I have opened the sunroof, which earlier I told you that it is able to take out like a sunroof, but I just was looking around in this vehicle and I found a button, and I like pressing buttons. And I pressed it, and it's actually a real sunroof that will come up. And that's pretty cool about if you don't want to take the top off, because the top of the middle of this vehicle will literally come out and you can have it open. But if you want an option, you can close it anytime you want, and just one press of a button and it automatically will close and lock back, which is pretty cool to me. Of course, you do have that other option to just, vent it up, let some air in if you don't want all that up, and, press it again or hold it down and you're ready to rock and roll. It's going to wrap this video up for today. If you'd like to know any more information about the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk or any other Renegades out there, please call us or visit us online at redriverdodge.com. And please go to our Facebook, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily videos and upload videos of vehicles we have on the lot and that we're trying to give you great deals on daily. Thank you for watching, and God bless.